All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I think I had a little voice crack there with the all right, YouTube. It is, right now it's Thursday, July 17th, right? But we're going to go through tomorrow's slate kind of briefly. I'm still going to do the live and video for tomorrow. So if we're a little bit, I guess quick through this or something like that, that kind of explains why. But we are back to the MLB. We do have some lines and whatnot to go through here. So very excited about that. But like I mentioned, we're still going to have tomorrow. So this is not going to, take the place of that or anything like that. But yeah, kind of wanted to go through. And obviously, since we are going to be doing the lives more for some of our picks, well, you can call this a little bit of a test run. So if you're in right now, drop a W in the chat. Really do appreciate everyone tuning in the day before the MLB is back, but very, very excited here. It's so weird when we go through those all-star breaks, right? It's like, what do we do without sports? You know what I mean? What do I talk about? What do I talk about with my friends? It's so wild. But I really do appreciate everyone tuning in. We can jump right to it. Guys, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Good stuff. But yeah, this is going to be like a little bit of a test run here. So we'll obviously engage the chat and whatnot, but as I go through a 15-game slate, it might not be like our normal lives where I'm trying to read every single message. So just FYI, right? I'm reading the chat. If anything pops out, then I'll try and give the shot and whatnot. But we're really going to try and go through this like we normally do with our videos and whatnot. So let's go ahead and dive into game number 1 here. We got the Cubs taking on the Red Sox. Colin Rea is listed as a starter. Lucas Giolito listed as a starter. By the way, guys, because this is in advance, anything can happen, right? Like, we barely have any totals on the board. Those money line lines and odds are subject to change, obviously. So we're kind of working with what we have, at least for today. But we got Rea and Giolito here. Obviously, the Red Sox have been on an absolute scorched earth pattern, right? They have been absolutely going off. As a Red Sox fan, you love to see it. That being said, this Cubs team I don't necessarily think is all that crappy when it comes to being able to match up against Giolito, right? Decent amount of right-handed hitters in that lineup. Obviously, don't have a confirmed lineup there. They have some really strong lefties as well, but Suzuki you think of bottom of that order. So I don't think Giolito has the best of best starts here. The good thing for him is he has been pretty good. The thing that puts us over the edge, it's probably going to be that the Red Sox, hopefully they can continue to stay hot. Giolito hopefully can continue to stay hot. And this Red Sox offense can most likely, I would assume, get to Rea. You know what I mean? So I'm going to lean towards the Red Sox here. I don't know necessarily what we're going to get from a total perspective, but I'm going to lean Red Sox money line as well as the over in that one, just because, again, I think this Cubs offense, especially at home, coming out of the break, could be decent. Giolito's almost due for a bad start. Hate to say that. But then at the same time, it's like we sit here and it's like, okay, well, if we take a peek at, obviously, the Red Sox offense, there's nothing that, tells us that this should be an under. So kind of where I'm at on that one. So we're going to go Red Sox as well as the over. I don't know if we'll get to any player props in today's video because obviously lineups and whatnot. So we'll probably do more of that later on, I guess. But yeah, let's get into game number 2 here. Got Pittsburgh taking on the White Sox. So again, pitcher subject to change. You have Bailey Falter, who is in probably desperate need of a decent start, right? He started the season so good, and then he just kind of fell off. But Jonathan Cannon actually has been serviceable the last 3 starts. He went up against San Francisco, went up against the Rockies, and went up against Cleveland. So not exactly the hardest of spots, right, in terms of him and what he's had to go up against. But are we going to put this Pittsburgh lineup on any different of a page, right? So for me, I don't think this is going to be the highest of scoring games, but I can't sit here and say that, I love Bailey Falter, I love the White Sox. I'm probably looking at, I would say, maybe a White Sox money line, right? White Sox money line, I don't think that I'd actually get there. What I don't mind is a first 5 or full game under, whatever that comes out to be, because I don't think either one of these offenses is going to be all that tremendous, right? So I'm going to lean White Sox, also lean towards either a first 5 or full game. It sounds kind of crazy, but, when we look at these two teams, it's like, yeah, the offenses are dreadful. I mean, flipping over to our dashboard, yeah, you could see it. Both pitchers, not exactly all that phenomenal, but, you have full bullpens. These bullpens aren't that tremendous. Pittsburgh's actually decent, but I mean, there's just nothing that I'm loving from an offensive standpoint. And look at this. The cutter is actually something that could worry you if you're Pittsburgh, but other than that, it's the fastball, sinker, slider, all those pitches not all that great. And then you could say the same thing with Bailey Falter throwing a fastball. Nothing that Chicago's going to hit all that well, right? So, yeah, I can't necessarily sit here and lean any other direction other than, I would say, White Sox and the under. I just don't think Pittsburgh should be minus 180 over anybody. You know what I'm saying? Tasso says, Ev, I need a lock. Spent all my money on beer and Greece. Give me something so I can buy a plane ticket home. Yeah, you need to come home to start working again. Tasso's probably had a million beers. A million beers. He's a big dude, too. Let's see. Kyle says, I like to skip a few games after the All-Star. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the All-Star game throws a wrench in any sport, right? Like, we're kind of going through this, and based on the games that we're looking at and all that, like, it's going to be a little dicey. So I don't like to skip it. Obviously, you know, I'm jonesing for it to get back. But what I will say is you'll probably see from me some more like quarter unit plays and some more half unit plays compared to like 0.75, you know, either 0.65, 0.75 or full unit plays, because things are going to be a little volatile. How do these guys come out of the break and stuff like that? You know what I mean? So, yeah. Israel says, hashtag get Tassos home. Yeah, get that man home. All right, let's jump into this next one here. We got Philadelphia taking on the Angels. Luzardo on the bump going up against Jose Soriano. Jose Soriano's got that sinker that's obviously very, very good. But Jesus Luzardo, him and Chris Sanchez, and I would say Ranger Suarez are probably all, like, the way that these guys must be thinking about how their team, in a sense, got screwed out of the All-Star bids. Like, you definitely have Sanchez and Suarez firing up that lineup. I don't want to mess with this pitch. I think that this Phillies pitching lineup can kind of go scorched earth second half of the season now. You know what I mean? Obviously, Wheeler is the ace. He got what he deserves and whatnot. But Misarowski making it over, I would say, Sanchez, Suarez for sure, kind of crazy. So I think that some of these guys, even like Luzardo, right, gonna back his teammates up and whatnot. The problem is at that minus 220 price tag, it's kind of crazy, right? I don't necessarily think that they're gonna come out firing though. I mean, again, Soriano has a decent sinker. I'm still gonna lean towards, you know, Philly probably first five on the run line. But I don't necessarily love the idea of an over, so I'm going to say slightly, and I'll put that in a little text, to like honestly, slightly into a first five under. I think that this could even be like I don't know what this number is going to get to, but Philadelphia, I expect, like I said, to come out firing. I think that that's out of all teams that are kind of pissed off, right? And now we have slightly under F500 just because I think Soriano can keep the ball on the ground. This Phillies team, even if we show our dashboard, and we'll talk about the dashboard in a little bit, you could see here, Soriano, one of the best in the business that's keeping the ball on the ground. The Phillies, they're one of the teams in the league that keeps the ball on the ground themselves more than anyone. So, you know, depending on weather and whatnot, it looks like we're going to have 85 degrees. I get it. This Phillies team goes off when it's good weather, but that's why it's a slight lean. Maybe a Phillies team total over if I wanted to consider an over, you know, because I don't necessarily think that this is going to be a barn burner on the Angels side of things. So maybe, just maybe, we can say Phillies team total over, but I kind of like the idea of an under, maybe like a 3-1 game after 5. Hotshot says, supposed to be talking about that Epstein lift if there's no sports betting. It's part of the distraction. I mean, it's crazy to think about, like, it's you like to talk about sports and you like sports and all that, and then all of a sudden, just for a couple days of the year, it's not there, and you're like, dude, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, what do we do with that? What do I do with my hands? It's crazy. But all right, let's go ahead. Let's move on. So, by the way, give me some feedback in the chat. Do we like kind of going through these live? Again, I'm gonna try and get to more chat and whatnot as we get better at this and get the flow down. But do we like kind of going through these games live? It's very similar to the videos that we'll do. And again, I kind of want to test this out as we go. So let me know in the chat, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are new. I think if your subscription's public, you'll have a pop-up that could not have worked better timing. Pop, just shout out to Pop for subscribing. I believe if you have it set on YouTube to be in public, your subscriptions will show as you go. But yeah, just anyone that's tuning in, FY, this is a little bit of an early look kind of before we do dive into the game tomorrow and the slate tomorrow and whatnot. So yeah, just kind of going through this. Yeah, so the good thing, Russ says, love the lives if I ain't working. Yeah, I mean, the good thing, it's like, well, even if, you're working that day or whatever, this will still live on like a normal video. But I know what you mean in terms of like being able to interact and whatnot, right? All right, let's try this. A live promo here, guys. Before we do move on with the rest of the slate, I do want to talk to you guys about none other than, yes, Novig. An app that has been absolutely awesome. I'm going to put that in the chat right now, but this thing is great in terms of just getting a better price out there. I do believe the sportsbooks exchanges are going to not take over, but be just a big player in the game because you're going up against Joe Schmoes like you or me. You're setting the line, you're setting the odds yourself, and you're getting better prices. Like at the end of the day, this fits everybody's MO because say you want to have a little bit more fun, you might want to go to an exchange. Say you're looking to get the best price like you should be. Boom, that's where you're going to get it, and these exchanges are the way to do it. So head over to that link. I just put it in the chat. It'll also be in the description as well as the pinned comment. Sports scientist Jacob says exchanges are the future, and that's a man that knows his you-know-what. So go check it out, guys. I promise you, if it's available in your state, you will be beating some of these sportsbooks lines with Novig. Go check it out. That link will be down below in the description as well as the pinned comment. Boom, a live ad read there. How do we do? All right, let's go ahead and dive into the this next game, though. We have Washington, San Diego. In terms of what we have from pitching, I believe we have, Irvin and Cease. So one thing that I looked at here, and obviously with the lines, you're not getting the best value on the San Diego side of things, but I wanted to take a peek at the slider and fastball because we know that Cease is going to throw those, right? This is actually a Washington team that's been hitting the slider fairly well. 5th in terms of runs above average last 30 days heading into the break. So, I'm kind of sitting here being like, maybe this could be a Washington spot. The problem is you're looking at Jake Irvin, who just really hasn't been it. You also think about him in the sense of what he's been doing lately. I guess you could say the Padres have been not that great offensively lately, but ultimately this is going to come down to, one, I think that the Padres can get to Irvin, okay? That's something that I'm going to stick to. But secondarily, I do think that, Washington can maybe pull a couple off of Cease. Now, we have a really good bullpen on the San Diego side of things. Look how many All-Stars they had. Not so much on Washington, so I would think that we have 9 innings of potential runs being scored, right? I'm just going to lean towards the over in this one. Not necessarily sure, as I get something in my eye, not necessarily sure how that's going to come out in terms of what line we're going to get and whatnot, but all I have so far in this one is probably the over, and that's a big over there. Let's see, Russell, shout out to you, says thank you for what you do. We'll pop that up on the screen again for the super chat. Thank you for the $2, my man. Really do appreciate it. I should have mentioned, anyone that drops a super chat or anything, we will definitely make sure to take a second from the stream and give you a shout out. So really do appreciate that, Russell. Thank you very much for tuning in for sure. But yeah, Washington, San Diego, based on this price, we'll see what we come at tomorrow. We have a little bit more information, but right now, leaning towards the over, and that's realistically going to be, I think, what we're looking at least for now, right? So the over, but I can't tell you what I'm doing money line yet. Dylan Cease, I'm a big Dylan Cease guy, or I should say, was a big Dylan Cease guy. Don't necessarily know if I can consider myself that much anymore. He hasn't looked all that great. That being said, he went against Philadelphia and he had two tough offenses to pitch against in his last couple of starts, so I'll give him a little bit of grace there, I guess, if I have to. You know what I mean? All right, let's move on to the next one. I'm kind of liking how we're flowing through these things. Good stuff. It's good stuff. But Russ says, sorry, I'm not rich. And hey, $2, that I appreciate anything. You know what I mean? Really do appreciate it. And you get the shout out too. Do not worry about the amount. I just appreciate that you did it. You know what I mean? So seriously. But all right, Toronto taking on San Fran. Pitching wise here, we have Verlander and Chris Bassett. Verlander has kind of been hit or miss, right? He's looked okay, but for the most part, this is not the Verlander that we know and or love. The issue I have here with being, okay, we'll just flip to Toronto because obviously you should, Jay Fizzle throwing me off my game. That's a great comment to read. I talked about Cease and not liking Cease, and he said you should cease backing him. I should cease betting him too. You're correct. But anyways, Bassett and Verlander, right? Bassett's been good. He's been really good at home. Obviously, we know this Toronto offense has been very good, right? They just lost 3 of their last 4, but before that, they rattled off a bunch. The one thing that I'll throw out here and take a peek at this, guys, like, yeah, this offense definitely hasn't been all that great, definitely hasn't been all that great on the road, but what's the one pitch they hit well? Would you look at that? They're number 3 in terms of runs above average. You know what I mean? So Chris Bassett, been good at home, good against righties. You can expect some righties in that lineup, but it's like, do the San Francisco Giants hit him here? Because I was immediately thinking under, because I'm like, all right, Verlander, hopefully a guy that can, use the slider and fastball to his advantage. Toronto's middle-ish of the pack on those. But I was thinking that, Bassett should be able to keep the ball on the ground against a bad offense on the road. And yet, that pitch right there, they hit pretty damn well. I don't think it's enough to get me to the Giants side of things. But it might make me, I was going to say slight lean to the under. And guys, you're going to probably see in the next coming days and whatnot, more of a, like, usually I'm a first 5 guy all day long, but with bullpens being absolutely fresh coming out of the All-Star break and whatnot, probably going to see a few more, like, full game unders from me, But yeah, Blue Jays is going to be what I lean towards, but then a slight lean under. Again, we want to see the lineups tomorrow and stuff like that. So if you think that I'm being a little... it's like, he's not so sure he's on the fence. We get those comments from the Guppies all the time, right? I am on the fence right now. We're looking at this a day in advance. If we see any good spots, probably no better time to jump on it. But baseball is one of those sports where it's like you're looking at the early lines and whatnot. You kind of got to make sure those lineups are what you think because of lefty-righty splits being important, at least in my opinion, being that important and whatnot, Brian says, when you're in Florida, brother, I'll buy you drinks, appreciate, and you follow every day. Thank you very much, and you might want to cap that drinks, because if someone gives me free drinks, I know we don't, like, talk about drinking much, but I'll have 12 of them right in your face. So, hey, put a cap on that. If anyone's buying me drinks, say, hey, Ev, we have the line set at 7.5, and you can't go over. Yeah, the Guppies do be on one, for sure. For sure. All right, 2 amazing offenses here, Cleveland and the A's. So Cleveland's offense obviously was like, what's going on there for a while, like kind of sneaky long, right? I would say that they looked pretty good in their last maybe series and a half. You know what I mean? Like probably, I guess you could say that White Sox series for sure, and then maybe that Houston series. So 2 series if you really want to give them that. But I don't know if they're back, right? Now, Severino's on the bump, and I don't want to sit here and act like, Severino's going to be fantastic, because kind of been naysaying him all year long. Not the big Severino guy. Didn't think it was the best signing. That being said, you're giving me plus money with an A's team that might have the better offense here, going up against Slade Ciccone. Yeah, I think we lean towards the Athletics here, which kind of worries me. And as weird as it is, I think I like the A's team total over as well. That might be better because then I don't have to sit there and back Severino. And Severino isn't that bad, guys, I know, but he's just not a guy that like fits my eye all that well. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll lean towards the Athletics on the money line. That looks weird. Did I even spell Athletics right? I should have stuck to A's like I did with the team total. But I'm going to lean towards their team total over. The fastball and the slider are the 2 main pitches. You can even see it with the dashboard. Fastball, slider, 2 main pitches they'll see from him. He's bad on the road so far, right? And fastball, slider, the only 2 pitches that this Athletics team hits. So depending on what this total comes out to be, we might get a good A's team total over spot, even though it does kind of pain me to like it. I would probably, if I had to pick the spot here, I'd probably only like the idea of A's over 3.5, even if you pay a little bit of juice, right? Not really gonna sit here and be like, all right, absolutely love the A's tomorrow. It's just kind of where I'm at right now. I can't seem to get behind Ciccone. And this Cleveland offense, albeit again, kind of went off. It was so bad for a while. Severino is a righty though, so that is somewhat worth noting. You know what I mean? But still, I'm gonna go Athletics as well as their team total over. That's got a chance to be in a final play tomorrow. But again, I'm excited because we're doing this a day in advance, and then we're gonna run it right back tomorrow with a little bit of I guess more insight and more of clarity into terms of what we like. But again, I kind of wanted to give a little test run on the video, right, as we kind of go through. So hopefully you guys do enjoy. Speaking of that, guys, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button if you have not yet, and allow me to shout out the dashboard. I've been going through and showing you guys the dashboard on the screen, right? But if you guys do want to go ahead and sign up, right over here, GuyBostonSports.com. GuyBostonSports.com. Head to the members area, the MLB dashboard right here. I'll toss this in the chat as well if you guys want to sign up, but it's also in the description. You get this dashboard each and every day. It's actually way better than it has been because now we have this built into the site. So yeah, you could filter by the games, or I guess go to the games. It's probably gonna take a while to load because I'm live. Nope, that loaded pretty good. So you can kind of go through these games, right? There we go, I jinxed it. But click through and you'll see obviously the breakdown of each and every game from a pitcher perspective. We're missing some stuff because the lineups aren't out, but yeah, check it out, guys. If you are signed up, it'll be right there. If not, that link is going to ask you to go ahead and sign up. But this thing we built for ourselves, and we keep adding to it and then bringing it to you guys. So it's not just like a money grab for me, right? It's literally something that I built to help me each and every morning. And now we wanted to bring it to you guys. It just consolidates about any given day, depending on what we're putting in there, about 8 to 10 websites. So it's definitely a time saver for anyone that's kind of short on time. Is it an end-all, be-all? No, we wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? It's a starting point, an end point, whatever you want to call it. It's not going to spit out a play. This thing isn't AI or anything like that. But go check it out, guys. That link, again, description, pin comment. I also just put it in the live chat for everyone. But let's go ahead and move on to the next game here. We are looking at, got the Mets and Cincinnati. Yeah, Russ says the guys, the dashboard is for real. Use it for every game. Yeah, I mean, it's just information too, right? You said made my money back on day one. Yeah, it's right now this dashboard, and we're planning on putting more into it. It's $6.99 per month. So it's like a very cheap tool for everything that you're getting. So it's got to, obviously, you know, if you get some nugget of information, it can pay for itself for sure. I believe that. All right, let's move on here. We got the Mets taking on Cincinnati. Kind of a good one here. We looked at this one a little bit earlier before we jumped on live. A couple things that I want to go through here. But we do have Clay Holmes against Nick Lodolo. Now, Lodolo on the road is definitely someone that's been fantastic this year. And then Clay Holmes has been pretty good. Now, Lodolo's a lefty. Mets have not really hit lefties all that well. And you could say that Cincinnati's offense really hasn't been hitting that well in general, right? So I think the first thing that I liked here was backing both the pitchers. Bullpen's mediocre, so this is one that even me, I guess I would say even me liking the under here, I also kind of like the idea of a first 500, not just because of the bullpens, but because I do think the starting pitchers are in really good situations. So yeah, I think I'm going to lean, I would still say Mets at home, but obviously that price is not something we touch. But the first 5, you know, or full game under is kind of what we'd also like here. I think Lodolo on the road is backable for certain, and you have Clay Holmes, so I kind of like his spot here. So yeah, Mets money line, but I honestly think that first 5 under or full game under could be very, very good. The only thing Cincinnati is hitting really well right now is the fastball, and Clay Holmes throws the fastball 8% of the time. He's a sinker slider pitcher, keeps it on the ground. Lodolo's been fantastic on the road this year, so I do think that it could be a nice little spot for somewhat of an under here. That's another one that we definitely, I could say, has a strong chance of being a final play, quite honestly. Just because, you know, you're going to come back. Maybe some of these guys sleepwalk out of the gates, that type of thing, right? All right, moving on. We got Miami taking on this Kansas City squad on the mound. I believe we saw, let's see, I think I lost my place here. That's the beauty of being live, right? Now I think it's Alcantara, if I can find my place, against Lugo. Hopefully that would be good memory. This is predicted as Alcantara and Lugo. So Alcantara, what do we make of him, right? Like, what do you guys think of Alcantara in the chat? If you guys have been watching baseball long enough, you know how filthy he was in, 2-3 years ago? And now he's just been terrible. But Seth Lugo has kind of been on the same, like, Seth Lugo was phenomenal last year, been a little dicey this year. So this is a questionable one, right? No bananas in this stream. This is a questionable one because both pitchers have absolute talent to be able to go out there and pitch well. Lugo's been really good on the road. Alcantara's been a lot better at home. So point favoring the pitching, right? But we have Miami, who has been raking righties lately. They've been putting up some serious numbers. They have, I think, 3 double-digit scoring games in their last, 6 or something. So pretty damn crazy, right? That said, Lugo's more of a guy that, you know, will keep it on the ground, pitch to contact. Don't know if that's good or bad, but he's got a crazy pitch mix in a sense, right? He throws 7 different pitches when he needs to. I think 8 if you include his splitter, which I think he throws less than 1% of the time, according to our dashboard here. But either way, this is one, and I hate to say like, oh, it could go both ways. It could go both ways. You could make an argument on either side here. I'm going to say that this is a Miami lineup that I don't know if they come out hot again. Like, I think the All-Star break, and I could say this about the Red Sox too, the All-Star break kind of poured water on their their scorched earth, scoring double digits against Baltimore or something, right? So I think I'm gonna sit here and say Royals, but based on that offense, I'd be kind of looking for a decent price, and at -120, I don't know if that's like the price I'm looking for. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say Royals. I don't have anything on the total yet, and I'm still kind of thinking, okay, what are we gonna get out of these bats, right? So we'll save our total lean for when we have a little bit more information and thought about it a little bit more. But as of right now, I'm just gonna lean towards the Royals on the money line. And again, the reason is kind of just, it's more like fading what I think could be, I don't think is going to be the best offense with Miami, and throwing the fact that I do think Alcantara has been, Jay says it in the chat, been hot garbage. It truly is. Like, it's kind of sad because he was like, if people didn't get to watch Alcantara a few years back, like, you missed out on some of the most, this guy was electric, you know what I mean? And then it's like, poof, really, really tough. But I think the Royals on the money line, yeah, obviously their offense isn't that great, but, I don't think that they're going to be that terrible against Sandy. As sad as that is, I think this is, honestly, the way that I'm saying it probably leans towards an under, but I don't necessarily want to back Alcantara. That would be backing him, you know what I mean? Because I don't think Miami's going to put up a huge number either way. All right, this should be a good one. We got Atlanta taking on the Yanks. The price here is interesting. At first I see it, I'm like, oh man, Max Fried at a -110 price tag, sure. But Spencer Strider's on the other side of things, and if you don't know, now you know, I'm a huge Spencer Strider guy. I also don't think that this Yankees offense, well, actually, I guess we can give them credit for starting to heat up, right? But I don't think that they're in the best place in terms of this pitch mix. Even using our dashboard, you can see fastball is what we're going to get from Strider. We know that. That's one of the worst pitches the Yankees are hitting right now. The slider to the next pitch, middle of the pack. You come in here, okay, cutter, slider, that's bad. Slider's bad for Atlanta, but cutter, sinker, making up, what is that, 33 plus 19? 51. Did I get that correct? Nope, 52. Boom. All right. Do quick math there. 52% of his pitches, they should kind of rake here, 6th and 7th. I do think that they can get to Fried, but that's kind of crazy to say. And you have sort of a against his old squad spot, like it's a little tough to sit here and say get to either one of these guys. I don't mind an under, but it is also, pretty scary that you have the Braves who have been hitting lefties well. You have the Yankees offense started to kind of look like it's, getting going and that type of thing. I'm just going to say under for now. This could even change tomorrow the more we look at it, you know what I mean? But again, I hate to keep repeating myself, but that's kind of the beauty of what we're doing here. Like we're going through it. We get a little bit of our I guess, fix in terms of like trying to get an early look at it, but we can obviously still, go through and find a little edge within the next, 24 hours. So we'll see how that comes out. But yeah, Yankees, I think that, this is a guy that Spencer Strider could be okay against them. Yankees offense has been looking good. I get it, but Max Fried at the end of the day should be able to keep them suppressed to some degree. You know what I mean? So yeah, Yankees and the under, and then Yankees might be end up what I lean because it's Max Fried at that number, but I do love me some Spencer Strider. Boston accent came out there, Spencer Strider. Tampa Bay and Baltimore here. Bradley going up against Charlie Morton. And again, I keep saying it, repeating myself, but because we're live, people coming in and out, I do want to kind of make sure it's clear that these are all like anticipated, projected lineups. Things could definitely change in terms of obviously, guys scratched or they're moving this and whatnot. So in terms of pitchers, yeah. But Charlie Morton, I guess you could say he's been a little bit better as of late, but I still don't necessarily sit there and think that he's been all that great. I think you have a fair price here for the Rays. Baltimore's offense, I think we can give them a little bit of credit. Maybe they started to look a little bit better, and then they just kind of cooled off, right? Last couple games against Miami, not so much. But Tampa Bay against the Red Sox didn't look all that phenomenal. That being said, Bradley hasn't really been himself so far this year. Charlie Morton, honestly, has had his struggles as well. I think I'm going to lean towards the over in this one. And nothing on either side yet. I do think that I like Bradley more than Morton, But Bradley, his last couple starts here against this Baltimore team, 1 1/3, 6 earned, 2 home runs, 7 hits and 7 runs. And then when he pitched against them last time out, which was also this season, 5 innings in the third pitched, 5 earned, just 2 strikeouts, 8 hits, 5 runs came in. So yeah, I think an over is going to be what I'm looking at. Charlie Morton, again, I don't have the most faith in him. And, I guess the Taj Bradley side of it, yeah, I do give him a little bit of an edge, but not too much. Sam says, so the Yankees aren't still on the DMB graveyard. Yeah, they are. I kind of misspoke. I didn't mean to lean Yankees. I like the under in that game, but Max Fried at that price is what I would do. And even with the DMB graveyard, it just means that I don't touch it. That being said, it's been the All-Star break. Probably can remove them, but also I'm a Red Sox fan, so I kind of am like, screw the Yankees. But I can still lean Yankees. It's just a matter of like final play-wise in terms of how that works out. You know what I mean? All right, Texas and Detroit is the next one here. We got to pull some stuff up. I'm a little behind on my side over here. But Texas taking on Detroit. We have Reese Olson, Patrick Corbin. This Detroit team has, I guess you could say, struggled on the road. And also, Troy Morton's right-handed. This Tampa Bay lineup just kind of struggled in their last series-ish, though. So, sure, that might be why we like the over as well. Not necessarily just a fade of Morton. But you're right, Tampa Bay's lineup, by the numbers, has looked good. But they actually have kind of dipped off a little bit, so FYI. But Detroit here taking on Texas. Reese Olson, Patrick Corbin. This Detroit team, the Tigers don't hit lefties that well. They don't hit lefties that well on the road. That being said, the slider, the sinker, the cutter is what they're going to see. They're just middle of the pack at seeing all of those. So I do think that they have the offensive advantage. Yes, Texas, you could say, kind of looked pretty damn good to close out their last few series. Like they really, really did for sure. No one's saying they're not. But I don't love the idea of Patrick Corbin, I guess, in a sense. So I'm going to lean Detroit. I don't think we have numbers in terms of odds, but if you can get this inside minus 115 or so, like, yeah, it's probably going to be what we take a peek at. And I'll go over or I'll do Detroit team total over. Those are going to be the 3 things that I look at. And again, guys, tomorrow we'll probably end up being able to take a peek at some more player props and whatnot. But right now, Tigers money line over or the Detroit team total over is what I'd look at. Maybe first 5 money line too. Reese Olson's been decent on the road. I like his pitch mix with the sinker slider combo as well. But I would kind of give a little bit of the bullpen edge to the Texas, especially being fully healthy. So that's worth noting, I guess. But I don't think that they smack this team around offensively. So that's probably still why I end up leaning towards the Tigers here. You know what I mean? All right, let's read some chat real quick before we do get into the last handful of games here. Sam saying looking like an under game. Yeah. We're scrolling back a little bit. I'm going to try and find things if we do see them as relevant. Adding Google Gemini to the dashboard. All right. That could be something that we do, right? Let's see. Toronto team total under, Sports Jacob said a while ago. I do like that spot, and they can win not batting the ninth. That's a good point. Russ says the Yanks have been screwing me bad. I stopped betting on them. Yeah, they're starting to turn things around, though, so I don't necessarily hate it. Anthony says, I'm so happy you decided to do the picks early. I live for daily content. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it so far in here, how crazy it is when sports kind of just, like, go away for a little bit, and you're like, well, what do I do now, right? You know what I mean? Like, I thought I could talk about other things. But yeah, Anthony, I'm happy to be doing it too. We're still going to run it right back tomorrow. So this is a very brief version of the picks, right? Tomorrow we're going to be right back here doing the actual slate with the starting lineups and more information. Right around 8:30 Eastern time is when we'll start. Mara says, Guy, Boston, turn up, big dog. We're going to get him this week. Hopefully, post All-Star is definitely tough for like a week or so, right? Hopefully we get him. Guys, hit that like button. I know I keep saying it and it sounds pandering, but it definitely does help the channel out. So if you haven't hit that like button, go ahead, hit that like button. Bunch more people in there than have hit the like button. So yeah, if you don't mind. J Fizz says, need my player props. Yeah, we'll be doing that, more player props and stuff tomorrow. it's going to be fun to do the lives because we can kind of go through it. And like, even if it works out again, we're taking a second to kind of go through chat right now. We're not going to be able to get to every single chat as we go through 15 games of a slate, obviously. Then we have to focus up because you guys know I'll just rant and look at the chat and respond. But, you know, when we talk about some player props or some spots, like that's where it's good that we're going to have two-way street. You guys being able to be like, hey, take a peek at this or something like that or something like that. You know, like I just said something like that a million times, but you know what I mean, right? So yeah. Let's get back to the games now. Michael says, my guy, what's going on? Mara says, have you noticed the MLB season, the season high on totals over in history? Is that right? We've been crushing first five unders, though. So bullpens must be getting smacked around this year because we have had a really good time first five unders. It's been our most highest volume play in terms of quantity, and it's also been, which is crazy, our best win percentage, or I guess units return spot. But all right, let's go ahead and dive back into this, guys. Colorado taking on Minnesota. I don't know if we want to spend too much time on this one. Freeland, Chris Paddock. I mean, the price is kind of like, if you want to fade Colorado now, it is in cores, but, you know, minus 160 right now, that isn't like the craziest of prices to back a Minnesota team. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that I want to get to Freeland here, though he's a guy that I do like. And, you know, he's been better on the road, which is usually telling of one of those pitchers. This Minnesota team against lefties should be pretty damn good. The thing that I do worry about is the fact that, you know, they don't hit the fastball well, and Freeland throws a lot of fastballs. That being said, in fact, we might want to jump on Minnesota money line sooner rather than later. That might be something. I'll make a note of that. That might be something we actually put in here. Maybe I'm going a little too crazy, but Paddock throws a ton of fastballs. Though Colorado hits that okay, that's the pitch that gets affected least by the, you know, the altitude or whatever, the science in cores. So kind of like the idea of being able to snag them at a price that seems like maybe we'd be getting a good price by the end of the night type of thing. So yeah, what do you guys think? Twins at minus 160, minus one, it's already moved. Minus 165, that's about as far as I'd go. But I could see this tomorrow being like, geez, I don't even know, you know, like I could see this tomorrow being like minus 180. So yeah, I kind of like the idea of the Twins here. Maybe their team total over. Again, they've been smacking up lefties, and Freeland's a lefty, so maybe we take a peek at the Twins and their team total over in terms of our play. But I think we couldn't get down on the Twins. You know, again, we're going to be very conservative to start the second half of the year, like maybe half unit plays being the bigger ones. But it's Colorado still, and Paddock throws the fastball, and the fastball doesn't get hit as hard in cores. It's always something to note. Yeah, kind of like that. But team total over could be good too, because then you're just putting up a big number, but you might get screwed because what if they put up like 5 and it's like, well, their team total over was, well, I don't know what it would be, right? I don't think we have the totals up yet, but point being, it's like, it's always going to be elevated, no pun intended, because of cores. Arizona, St. Louis. This should be a pretty damn good one. You get Merrill Kelly, Sonny Gray on the mound. Sonny Gray has been really, really good. We know that, right? Merrill Kelly, though, sleeper here. He's been very, very good as well. The fastball cutter, I think, could be great for Arizona. The problem is I don't know if I love the price. I don't think Sonny Gray gets hit up by Arizona, though. So I do think that, you know, this could be a spot in which, you know, we see maybe an under. Is that crazy, though? Because these are two good offenses. And even looking at their kind of, I mean, St. Louis definitely had his ups and downs, but, you know, coming out into the break, they went 8-5, 6-5. Arizona went, you know, 5-5-5, 8-3, 5-5-5. Like, both these offenses are pretty good, but two good pitchers on the mound. Is it crazy? Maybe we'll sound the cycle alert alarm. We got a live cycle alert alarm. Let's go. I'm going to go D-backs just because I think you're going to get a good price, but then also first 5 under. Yes, you could go full game under. I get it, but I think I'm going to trust the starters over the bullpen. Arizona's bullpen's been known to blow games. St. Louis has been good. They're going to have everyone, so yes, you could be okay. I guess you could make the same argument, right, for Arizona, but they have a few guys that are injured on that Arizona list, so their bullpen could be an issue. And that's another cool thing we have in the dashboard, guys, right down here, right? We have the bullpens. You can see no one's thrown because the last 3 days have been break, but the cool thing is you can see where these bullpens are and who's thrown. So like it'll look something like this normally. We'll have to remember to delete this, but you know, like 174 pitches, but something like that where you could see, and then if a guy's thrown, you know, 2 days in a row, you'll see it there. So that's kind of the cool thing that we've added now to the dashboard here. All right. Let's see, where were we with this one? So we like Arizona, the first 5 under. The Diamondbacks, though, I don't think if they're like I kind of want them inside minus 120. So I'll make I'll make that clear, right? Like, I don't want to sit here and be like, Diamondbacks against Sonny Gray minus 120 is great. No, you could definitely make the argument that could be a spot in which maybe the plus money with Sonny Gray on the mound could be a spot, you know? Let's see. Amani says, great content. Appreciate that big time. A couple games left here. We got Seattle taking on Houston. Framber Valdez pitching for Houston. He's going up against Luis Castillo. Interesting here because Castillo usually is like the innings eater, right? And, you know, he's a guy that you can, and even though we don't play that player prop very often, he's definitely a guy that eats innings. And when you think about it, that's good kind of insight to have. That being said, they might not need him to eat innings, and he's not always going to be the best when it comes to these like short, like, you know, pitching 5 innings or something like that. I do think Houston can get to him. So I'm going to lean towards, I would say I'm going to lean Astros. The price here is a little interesting to me, right? Like the pick'em, I would think Houston's offense is just better. Framber Valdez is a lefty and really, really good. So I'm going to lean towards the Astros in the under. I don't know what this number is going to come out to, but I'm kind of shocked a little bit by what we have at our disposal here in terms of, in front of us. I think that these odds are kind of weird. It's almost giving that Castillo's going to absolutely shut down, which he might. He's really good against right. He's really good at home. That could fit here. The fastball, though, is Houston's number 1 pitch. You could see number 1, the sinker slider combo. It's like the 3 pitches that he throws, Houston's going to hopefully get to. I mean, yeah, you're in a little bit of the rivalry or something. I get it. But I do think that, I think that this Astros squad at a pick'em could be the spot to look at here. Seattle under in terms of team total under. You know what I mean? Sorry, is that what you mean? I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all because I do think that the under in this game, I'm leaning that way. But Houston looks like, in terms of Castillo, looks like they could tattoo him. I don't know if I have his numbers. Actually, I don't think I have that up. But his numbers against this Houston lineup over time, but the pitch mix is kind of what I'm focusing on here. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like the Astros money line, and then I guess that under. But Jacob, I don't mind the idea of what you're saying with, maybe a Seattle team total under. Valdez goes out there and just pumps. You know what I mean? Seattle's definitely had some struggles, not crazy, but some struggles against the lefty hand, and Valdez is just absolutely. The only thing Valdez does, and I don't even mean to say it's poorly, is walk guys. Like his walk rate, I think, is north of 8. It's at like almost 8.5%. It's still okay though. So yeah, I'm gonna lean towards the under. That being said, I'm looking at this now. The sinker curveball combo isn't the best for Valdez. It looks like Seattle hits those well, so we shall see. But I'm gonna stick with the Astros and the under. But I think the Astros could be something that we get in sooner rather than later, because we might be able to get some CLV there in terms of the line that it closes at. All right, we got the last game of the slate, so we'll do this game and probably hang out for like 5 minutes after the fact. So don't worry, it's like we'll still maybe do a little, questions and answers and whatnot. But last game, we have Glasnow and Quintana for the Dodgers and Milwaukee. Quintana's going to throw the sinker, and that has been a pitch the last 30 days that the Dodgers have really struggled to hit. And if you guys have been paying attention lately, this Dodgers squad really hasn't looked all that phenomenal. Now, they kind of bounced back. They took 2 of 3 against San Fran, but before that, they lost. They got swept by Houston, got swept by Milwaukee, and then lost that first game against San Francisco. Now they play Milwaukee again. They are at home. I'm sure they put up a little bit more of a respectable number, but I don't think this one's going to be a grossly high-scoring game. So all I have right now is going to be taking a peek at the under. I think that, Milwaukee's offense, obviously very, very good, but hoping Glasnow, who was one of the best pitchers in the league a couple years ago, hoping that, he can kind of reel it in. And I actually think Quintana, as weird as it is going to be able to kind of at least keep the ball on the ground here. And that's big when you play this Dodger squad, especially at home. They love to lift it. They love to hit home runs, which they have a bunch of guys that can hit home runs, just by flicking it. So, yeah, I honestly, I kind of go back and forth here in terms of what side I like. You're probably still liking the Dodgers, but I think Quintana can at least suppress them a little bit. Jimmy says Dodgers at home, bullpen rested. Yeah, I don't know if I love minus 185, but correct. I'm saying that Quintana might be able to do enough, if that makes sense. That's why I don't mind an under. So it's not necessarily that I'm sitting here being like, I love the Brewers, something like that. Like, especially Brewers just swept them. You think the Dodgers are not going to come out fired up? They will. So I get that. I don't mean to make it. I think I like the under because I think Quintana can do enough to keep it close. I think if it's a close game, it stays under. But again, we're looking at this early, guys. It's going to be something that we're able to go through tomorrow and kind of dive into. But yeah, guys, hit that like button if you are still watching. Make sure to subscribe if you are new. Drop any questions down in the comments. We'll probably, like I said, stay live for maybe 4 to 5 more minutes, and then we'll close up shop for the day. But yeah, for the week of the All-Star game, the week after the All-Star game, so, Friday to Friday type of thing, we're planning on doing a little bit more of these lives. And I don't know if it'll always be like every pick video is the live, but I love the interaction. Maybe on some smaller slates we can do it, when we have like the Thursdays or I guess Monday, depending when we have smaller slates. I would say that's a good time too, because we really dig our teeth into the chat. But overall, yeah, looking forward to doing these. If you guys don't like them, or we're feeling like it's not working, or we're not getting the videos or the entertainment, we'll just go right back to doing what we're doing with the normal videos. The good news is these videos, though they might be a little bit different, will still live on the channel, and it's pretty much the same thing. You know what I mean? It's just like watching that video. So that's kind of what we're at as of right now. But really do appreciate everyone tuning in. Again, drop some questions if you guys do have questions, and maybe we'll get some questions here, and we'll kind of shoot the shit, as they say. Pardon my language. Until we close out. So again, 5 minutes, I think, is a fair amount of time to kind of chill, right? This is like mushroom coffee. Didn't think I was gonna like it. I've been like addicted to it for a couple weeks. See, I absolutely love that. Russ says, enjoyed watching, chilling on the porch with my coffee. That sounds like an absolute dream right now. Jay Fizzle says, need more Ev drinking videos. You'll probably get those. Those seem to come out. You know what I mean? Those seem to come out. What else we got in the chat here? Mr. Bean says, any home run options tonight? Tomorrow are the games, and tomorrow we'll do a little bit more player props and stuff like that. So as of right now, no home run options. It's what kind? It's like 7 different mushrooms, not the loopy kind of mushrooms, guys. All right. Israel says like button people for the Banana King. Oh my God. Drop a banana in the comments in the chat if you guys were here for the banana the other day. Yeah, I've been thinking about that, Kelly. A daily home run parlay and whatnot. The thing is, guys, and I'm sorry if some of your creators out there on Twitter and stuff, you do it, but I think it's the corniest stuff when you pair, or put together 6 guys to hit a home run. And, it's like you're just engagement farming at that time. Like, is he going to hit one? Like, yeah, it's crazy to me. So, I mean, maybe for fun, I get it. But there's some people out there in this industry that like think that is what they do, and they think they're good at it, and they're just freaking taking people's subscription money and whatnot. It is crazy. It is engagement bait, Jacob, for sure. Pitcher part. I think that you know what probably the better way of putting that to Mr. Bean to Kelly is maybe we start doing some like just parlay of the days for fun in a sense, but you know what I mean? Like, maybe that's something that we could do, right? Something a little bit more fun. Maybe put together, like, a prize pick of the day or something like that. But it's funny because, like, where I see the fun in the home run, it's like it's tainted in my brain because all these people on X and Twitter are touting these dumb home run parlays that are just taking people's money. You know what I mean? If someone has a subscription service and they're paying X amount of dollars to be in that and get those home run plays every single day, which seems to be like the biggest thing right now, you have to be in that service for so long before one of those 6-leg home run parlays hits that you're probably, even with the crazy payout you have, don't even make profit because for 19 months you've been paying $10 a month. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just my opinion on it. But again, that's just me kind of talking about that area. I'm not saying, Kelly, it's a bad idea or anything like that. I kind of like the idea of a parlay for fun that we put like 0.05 to your point units on it. You know what I mean? And I also don't I think I'm man enough to be like, I don't think that I have I'm not the home run whisperer or anything, right? Like that's not part of my true research right now. So we'd have to kind of learn that in a sense. So it surely would be for fun, not because I'm good at it. But all right, guys, a couple more minutes, then we're going to close down shop. Good slate that we have tomorrow. Again, we'll be right back here doing it live again. Maybe a little bit more player props, but I think that Twins is going to be a final play. I think we'll get that in. I kind of like the idea of the Astros as well. So we'll see. Bean says, do you do NHL and NFL? I do NFL. NFL is like one of our bigger sports here on the channel. I would say NHL is still something that we're trying to bring onto the channel. I personally won't do NHL. I just don't think I have the time. But looking to bring someone on to do NHL videos just like this on the channel. Are the Red Sox buyers or sellers? Well, in terms of how are we putting that? In terms of like trades or something like that, because I think that the Red Sox I feel like they're gonna friggin' stand pat, but they're looking really good. I think though this win streak, I mean, I'd love Joe Ryan, right? Maybe this win streak is bad in a sense because it's like, oh, we can win, and this is all about the future. Like the guys that are going off are the future guys and that type of stuff. So Jay, I don't know if the Red Sox are buyers or sellers. I almost think that they're gonna be moot. I hope they're not. I literally hope I'm wrong, but just based on how they've been in the past. For being one of the bigger markets, a frugal team and all that, I think they might just be like, oh, well, things are good right now, and it's about the future, not the right now. So that type of stuff. Let's see what we got here. Def love team totals, over and unders. We should do pick 7. I think we're gonna do some more parlay based on what you guys, the feedback you're giving. It's the beauty of the live. I think we'll do some more lives. Some more parlays for fun and whatnot. So I think we can look at that. I don't know about every single day. Like the funny thing is, like, yeah, we could just look at it and put something together. You know what I mean? But we spend a lot of time going through our plays and really trying to figure out what we like or something like that, right? So even to think like, oh, 2-leg parlay or 3-leg parlay, as it sounds dumb and it probably doesn't make sense to you guys, I guess, but like it's kind of hard to fit that in a weird way. We could do it. I'm not saying like there's not enough time in the day, but it's like I think it's a little bit more than we might think, you know what I mean? So maybe it'll be something that we do at the end of these streams. We just put together a quick parlay that can kind of be all in the same instead of, continuing to research throughout the day, make our final plays, and then be like, all right, let's parlay. Because the thing with it, I wouldn't want to like parlay picks that we already have in a sense, because then it's like, well, you're just cementing yourself into either a good day or a bad day. But if your picks don't hit, it ruins the parlay that's already a loss. I don't know. We'll talk about it at a later date, guys. Appreciate everyone tuning in. If you're watching right now, last plea from me, hit that like button, guys. We have double the amount of people in there that have hit the like button. Really do appreciate everyone that stuck around. These live streams will be fun moving forward. That's all for me. Really do appreciate it. And yeah, this will be a learning curve as we go live. So we'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.